Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. And today we're going to be diving deep into, maybe slightly shallow, into Amorim's system as a whole. Like, we're going to be talking deeply, about certain things with regards to Amorim's system and all of that. The burning question that keeps popping in Man United fans, in Man United fans' minds is the system working? That's the question. People always keep asking that question. Is the system working? And, when you see interviews, you see a lot of stuff, you see a lot of talk online. The first question they ask you, oh, is the system working? I posted a video on our channel, on a short video on our various social media platforms, and it was on Troy Deeney schooling Alex Crook on all things with regards to Amorim's system. And they're like, oh, we see the system, we see we know you don't like the system, but the question is, is the system working? And then Troy Deeney said that, oh, sometimes when the system is at 85% and then you change players and it drops from 85% to 55%, and that you now asked Alex Croker questions like, okay, who do you think is the best trainer? You say, we might not know. Nobody has said that Mainoo is not a good trainer. But I'm like, no, who do you think is the best trainer? And then obviously from there on out, you go watch the video on our channel. From there on out, we noticed that obviously that the system is not a problem because there was already like a bias against Rúben Amorim. But I mean, it is what it is. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep like breaking it down and going up and on about the system. Rúben Amorim has said time and again that the system is overrated and all that. But this question is, what is this system? Because we've done like match reviews, previews and everything. Even like we have, like, if I'm just going to give you like a summary, maybe based on the last game from Manchester United, based on the last game. So based on the last game, probably if we're going to give like how Manchester United play based on Amorim's last game, and we're going to use the match preview. Rúben Amorim and is more like Rúben Amorim's Manchester United are more than proactive, high tempo side. And when something is new and it comes and it isn't working per se, people tend to always kick against it. Now they're built on a 3-4-3 shape that shifts from 3-4-3 to 5-3-2 or 4-2-3-1 depending on which different player is where under pressure, and United dominate possessions but always look to attack with versatility and speed. We're talking about the likes of Cunha, Mbumo, Dogu, Dalo, even Shaw, Ahmad. These are speed players, right? And then the goalkeeper, who is supposed to be a sweeper keeper, a true sweeper keeper, steps into midfield to create overloads. And then you see that with David Raya at Arsenal sometimes to create overloads in the build-up, and the defense is, staggered to stretch pressing structure, while midfielders like Kobe, like Ahmad, Bruno, like Ugarte, like Casemiro, all things being equal, are supposed to drive forward to disrupt lines. Kobe, Bruno, Ugarte can do that, but they have shown, especially for Ugarte and for Kobe, to not be good on the ball, especially Ugarte, and then be able to run at consistent pace. Kobe Mainoo. Meanwhile, for Bruno, it's basically more of the passing situation. Like, he passes, and the passes really help. So, I mean, is the system working? I mean, we've seen in moments, especially in the games we've won and the games we've lost, like a game against Arsenal, that the system works. Now, the way they play, it stretches defenses and creates multiple options, from cutbacks to Sesko's runs in behind. I mean, we saw the cutback from Dalo to Brian Mbumo, as the case may be. Defensively, Amorim deploys an aggressive 5-3-2 mid-block, trapping teams wide and basically counter-pressing with intensity. I mean, the moment that the ball is lost. Now, this is how the system is supposed to work. Now, people tend to now judge him based on, okay, he's not winning games. People start calling stats from last season and adding it to this season. Oh, in this Premier League games, he hasn't won any. He has won 7. He has, like, all these stats. But Rúben Amorim keeps saying something which I'm going to show you in a few moments. Rúben Amorim says something that obviously we are playing well, especially this season. We need to build on it and be consistent, but we are playing well. And I'm going to just kind of tell you, basically, give you like a breakdown of what I think from all of this. And in truth, the stats don't lie. That's the truth. The stats don't lie. You check Premier League stats. I mean, I saw this screenshot and I was like, oh, I saw this image posted on X and I was like, oh, if the stats are not working, or if the system is not working, then probably the stats will tell a different story. But in truth, the stats are telling, the story that is expected, of Man United, especially in the case of dealing with things like playing style and stuff. Like, I saw this post from Center Devils, and it says Manchester United in Premier League this season: first in shots, first in touches in the opposition box, first in accurate crosses, second in shots on target, second in expected goals, second in accurate long balls, fifth in possessions percentage. Rúben Amorim deserves more respect. And you tend to now think to yourself, like, okay, so how is it that the system is not working? How is it that the system is not working? And then you have the striker like Benjamin Sesko, talking about Manchester United's moves. He says, oh, the level of matches is certainly much higher than, and the players and the teammates are also at a higher level. After all, the English football is at the highest level, it's at the highest level of world football. But I am very much looking forward to the coming period, also because I am getting better and faster in every training session, and I am also progressing in my football mentality every day. That is pretty much what Benjamin Sesko, and the media narrative, Sky Sports will always twist it and turn it however they want to turn it or analyze it. But I'm going to show you some stats here. Speaking of, the whole of the system situation and all the system merchants, because Rúben has said time and again that systems are overrated, formations are overrated. In one of press conferences, he said, oh, I've played in 4-2-3-1, I've played in 4-3-3, I've played in 4-4-2. And you can't tell me any new thing about these from this one. But this 3-4-3 is the only formation I have not played in. And then people took it out of now. Oh, why don't you play the 4-2-3-1? Blah, 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 blah. But this is the same system that everybody hounded Erik ten Hag for. Erik ten Hag came with a 4-3-3. I've seen someone in my comments saying, oh, let's play 4-3-3. Erik ten Hag came with a 4-3-3. And what happened? They hounded him. Oh, why are you playing the fourth? Why? I mean, he lost the first game. The media, blew it out of proportion and all of that. And guess what? We are back to square one, right? We're back to square one. So I'm going to show you a stat, because right now, Erik ten Hag played 4-3-3 in the beginning of the season, first 2 seasons, right? And then switched back to a 4-2-3-1. And it started working, and then it wasn't working. Now people want him to switch so that he can get results. I'm like, is it all about results right now? Right? Is it all about results? You want to have a stable system, a solid system that works, so you can actually build from there. So I'm going to show you some stats. And when I show you these stats, you basically understand what I mean, that the system is actually working, and the problem is not Amorim as everybody expects the problem to be, especially with the media narrative. So the stats we have here: total shots, we have 55, right? And we're leading the Premier League, first in Premier League, at least after 3 games. Then in expected goals, we're leading also in the Premier League, 6.8. I think in the Premier League, if you check the Premier League stats tab, you see that it's actually 6.78, so slightly above. So the person who made the clip, the image, kind of summarized it. So slightly above Chelsea, so 6.78, 6.80. Then you have Chelsea 6.7, you have Brighton 6.2, and you also have Man City at 5.8. The Man City that expected goals in the last 3 games, 6.8 for Man United, which means we should have scored at least 6 goals or 7, as the case may be. But so far we have scored 4 and we've conceded 4. So I think we scored in the Fulham game and then 3 in Burnley's game, and then we conceded 4 goals, which is 1 in Arsenal, 1 in Burnley, and 2 in Burnley, and 1 at Tottenham. So 4-4 on each side. Then shots on target per game were 5.7, or 5.3, and we're tied second with Chelsea and West Ham, behind Liverpool, because shots on target, obviously Liverpool have probably converted more chances and scored more goals. And then we're talking about touches in the opposition box. We are first. We have 99 touches in the opposition box, ahead, way ahead of second place Bournemouth, and then we also have I also ahead of way ahead of Man City and Chelsea. And then if we're going to go into details with accurate crosses per game, if we're going with accurate crosses per game, we have 6.7, and that's pretty much why we brought people like Brian Bumo and even Patrick Dogo as well when he crosses the ball sometimes. I mean, even we have people like Luke Shaw crossing the ball at different times for Manchester United. So it is like very important. Like, we as Man United fans need to understand and try as much as possible to back this team, basically. So we need to back the team. We need to, support the manager, and obviously the leadership at the board and the leadership of the club have actually backed Rúben Amorim in ways, even though they haven't given him the midfielder that he needed, the athletic midfielder and all of that. So yeah, that is pretty much what we need to understand. But the truth is, us bashing ourselves as fans, saying that the system doesn't work, it puts us in a situation where we tend not to understand, and then we put pressure on the players to deliver, and then they become sad when playing, or they become less motivated. And then next thing you hear is stuff like, "Oh, you are paid to play," blah 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 blah. It is what it is. But also with regards to accurate crosses per game, we've had a couple, and we've had a lot of crosses. And then if we're talking about accurate long balls per game, we've played 13.7 per game, which is 31.7, 31 long balls per game, which is more, even higher than all the other teams who play long balls, like 6.7 higher than Fulham, than Wolves, and pretty much Wolves play the same system we play, than Wolves, and then than Everton, who have had a good start to the season, and the like. So like, what more do you expect? Like, we as Manchester United fans have failed to kind of support our team and back our team in more ways than we could ever imagine. But it is what it is. We need to back the team. We need to support the team. And then, which brings us to the next question that everybody keeps asking as well, is that does Bruno Fernandes work in this team? Does Bruno Fernandes, because Alex Crook, one of his points he made was that, Rúben Amorim tries as much as possible to shoehorn Bruno Fernandes into a central midfielder. But there are certain things that we might not have seen that Rúben Amorim sees in Bruno Fernandes that makes him to play him as a central midfielder, which he has played several times in the past, but it wasn't a big deal. But now, because it's Rúben Amorim and it's a Man United narrative, they want to make it happen. So looking at Bruno Fernandes' stats, he's leading the league in possessions won. He's leading the league ahead of, defensive midfielders and stuff. 24 possessions won for Manchester United in the last 3 games. He's leading the league ahead of Alain now, who's a defender, ahead of Bruno Guimaraes, who's more of a defensive midfielder and box-to-box player, ahead of Murillo, who's a defender, ahead of Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, 18, ahead of Lucas Paqueta, 18, ahead of Andre of Wolverhampton Wanderers, 17, Yarmolenko, 17, same, Jadon Bogle, 17, and Jack Grealish, 16. He's won possessions more times than these players. Like, even like, I can't see any Man City players in this list. I can't see any Man City players in this list. And then if we're talking about other stats for Bruno, we're talking like, even when it comes to chance creation and stuff, Bruno Fernandes is leading the league again in chances created by 2 over Anton Starch of Leeds United. Bruno Fernandes leading 12, Anton Starch is 10, Brand Bumo 9 chances created, James Ward-Prowse 8, Kenan Drewsbury Hall of Everton 8, Mohamed Kudus 7, Sasha Lukic 7, David Brooks 6, Evan Nielsen of Bournemouth 6, and then Kaoru Mitoma of Brighton 6. The guys under him have probably scored more goals that the team have scored more goals than Man United. But Bruno has created 12. Just imagine, of the 12 chances that were created, and I'm talking according to Scorer, so it's not like maybe somebody made it up somewhere. It's according to Scorer. If he had made 12 chances and Man United scored 6 or 7, would have beaten Arsenal, would probably have beaten Fulham in the first half, and probably have beaten Burnley in the first half. So with all these stats, you now tend to think, okay, does the system work? We can actually see it evidently. Now, I can actually show you another stat for second balls win rate. Second balls win rate. Based on second balls win rate, Man United leads the league. Man United leads the league in second balls win rate. If you look at the top there, you see Manchester United. Second balls win rate. And then if you look basically at the bottom, you see Crystal Palace. Right? Crystal Palace for second balls win rate. And then, I mean, there's no, how can I say this? You don't find this anywhere. But obviously, the media will spin it that Rúben Amorim is not working. That's what the media will do. They'll spin it that Rúben Amorim is not working. If you look at the top of the list, Manchester United is there ahead of multiple teams, all 20 teams. Man United is leading the league in second balls win rate, 68%. And that's what Amorim has talking about since last season. Brighton is 61, way above, 7 points behind, way above, and then Wolves 60, Brentford 59, Leeds 56, Arsenal 54, Liverpool 53, and then you come down to like 16th, and then you see Man City at 42. What are we talking about? So is the system working or is not? We just need to convert our chances, and trust me, we just need 3 or 4 wins on the Spain, and everything changes. And you won't hear those loud noises of Amorim and stuff. But obviously they're out and they're ready to kind of deal with the team however they please and all of that. But look at it, second balls win rate, Manchester is leading. So I don't know, is the system working or is the system not working? It's all up to you guys, man. Because in truth, we need to back this team and not fall for the media narrative and everything. But let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section about this whole thing. And obviously, I would stand for backing the manager till the end. And let's see what result we can get from this. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.